Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6 sense for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame, cause I break the chains. Can't control me. I got the power, I got the keys, cause I break the chains. They try to hold me, I'ma push back, just wait and you'll see. Please excuse me, your honor, but you can't hold me no longer. Can't you feel the vibrations? I broke out and left traces. Go ahead, try catch me if you can, man. You'll be looking all night, I'm the Sandman. New York, London to Japan. I'ma show the whole world who I am. Boom, boom, boom. Major look.
Once again, thanks for tuning in. You're listening to World Combat Sports. Salute to each and every one of you who support the channel since the first. You know what I'm saying? The day one supporters, always appreciated. Much love to you. It's another boxing hour. You know, we still pretty much buzzing throughout the media network on the heavyweight fight that we had. You know, that went down finally, the trilogy. One of the most epic fights of this era between two of the best heavyweights in boxing. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Team Williams. You know, Michael Williams Jr. is going to be fighting this weekend for his 19th professional fight. He's currently 18-0, undefeated, welterweight, and he'll be fighting at the venue over in Alabama, you know, under 116 boxing promotion. So shout out to, you know, Team Williams. Ready, you know, we ready to get it in once again. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to 150, man, doing it his way, the only way. Continue to win, continue to build up his record. A youngin' in the game, 22 years old, has a long lifeline in the sport. So if you're in the area, man, be sure to drop through. Show support to the young warrior. You know what I'm saying? He's a rising star in boxing. So show your support, man. That's Michael Williams Jr. 150 in the building. Team Williams on deck, you know, in Alabama. And this will take place on the 16th, which is this Saturday. All right. And much to our credit, people, let's get right down to it. Deontay Wilder finally comes in because people be, you know, eager and anxious for him to say anything. You know what I'm saying? If he ain't talking, if he is talking, they just want to hear his voice. But he came out, you know what I'm saying? He basically congratulated Fury on his. Let's take a look at this. You know, need to see. You know, people need to read it for themselves. Let's read right quick. Let me go through. This is coming from the Bronze Bomber himself. He said, wow, what a hell of a night. I would like to first and foremost thank God for allowing me to give the world another part of me that's driven with passion and determination. I would like to thank my team and my fans for sticking by my side through this long process. I would be lying if I said that I wasn't disappointed in the outcome. But after reflecting on my journey, I now see that what God wanted me to experience is far greater than what I expected to happen. We didn't get the win, but a wise man once said the victories are within the lessons. I've learned that sometimes you have to lose to win. Although I wanted to win, although I wanted to win, I enjoy seeing the fans win even more. Hopefully, I prove that I am a true warrior and a true king in this sport. Hopefully, we prove that no matter how hard you get hit with trials and tribulations, you can always pick yourself up to live and fight again for what you believe in. Last but not least, I would like to congratulate at Gypsy King 101 for his victory and thank you for the great miracle that will last forever. So that is the bronze bomber Deontay Wilder, basically pretty much congratulating Tyson for his victory. And I wanted to bring up this clip right quick. I want y'all to see something. Let me get it right quick. I'm gonna wait till that load. But check this out though. Deontay Wilder, his reign as WBC champion was over a 5-year term, right? When he fought Bermane Stiverne back in 2015, it pretty much ended the heavyweight championship depression that was active from the Klitschko brothers. The Klitschko damn near ruled for a decade. You know what I'm saying? And for U.S. champion, we talking about U.S. heavyweight champion. Deontay Wilder did us justice. He did us a service by showing up. You know what I'm saying? He showed up and he became champion the hard way. You know what I'm saying? He became champion through hard work and dedication. I know it sounds cliche, but when you fast track your boxing the way he did, it was through hard work and dedication. He was able to become champion, man, and going the distance for the first time against Bermane Stiverne. And he would defend his title a total of 10 successful outings in his four-corner domain. That's commendable, man. We got to salute the U.S. heavyweight champion for that. It has to be recognized, you know what I'm saying? Because if you say you support boxing, then you have to recognize that is absolutely amazing to reign for over 5 years before he lost his title to Tyson Fury, February of 2020. You have to salute him. No matter what you think of his boxing skills, you have to say to yourself that he did an outstanding job with what he was able to contend with in the ring and how he was able to start off his boxing career and to the point all the way up to when he lost his title, what he put into his boxing career, his effort. You know what I'm saying? The highlights that he gave us, the performances that we enjoyed. You know what I'm saying? He has some highlight reels out there. One thing about combat sports is constantly evolving. It has ebbs and flows right in front of your eyes that sometimes are transparent until certain individuals that we're used to watching and supporting, they end up losing or they end up, performing differently. And we say to ourselves, like, what is going on? Like, they still have this amount of time left. We don't say in this fighter, fight to this age. Everyone's body is different. Everyone's physical anatomy, conditioning, health is different. And for those of you like myself that's been following combat sports for a long time, we totally understand that you run into certain people that may give you your best competition. You know what I'm saying? They may give you your best competition throughout your entire career. They may not be the most favorable individual, not be that everybody likes, but in this case, the person who was doing it the right way was somewhat the villain. You know what I'm saying? Deontay Wilder was the villain in this case. And he pretty much ingratiated that role. And he still went in there and performed and gave us knockouts. On the other hand, if I had a villain to select and express what I felt about it, it would be Tyson Fury. You know, we speak about all the characters that he dressed up as. And I think about it and I say, he wearing those costumes, you know, pretty much put that particular character as a Marvel villain if Tyson Fury is the one representing. You know what I'm saying? Because I just felt like a person that was able to win the unified titles, him being able to defend his title for the very first time, how he's basically jumped on a high and rose to superstardom overnight. And the only thing that places him there is the fact that he was able to somehow cascade himself over the fact that he never defended his unified titles when he won them. But the fact that he was in there with a Hall of Famer in Vladimir Klitschko, you know, allows him to have his accolades recognized. You know what I'm saying? That's a medal that he has. He stepped in there with the all-time great in Vladimir, and he won the titles. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what happened after that, people still, you know, speaking, you know, when it comes to resume to resume, they always mention Klitschko. That's the same thing. That's the same reason why Joshua called him out of retirement, because before that, the last fight that Klitschko had was against Tyson Fury. So a couple of years later, that's why Eddie Hearns, which is a very smart, genius move, they called Klitschko out of retirement to fight Joshua for a vacant title. Now, when you talk about Joshua's resume, the first person people talk about is Klitschko. But Deontay Wilder did not have the opportunity to face a Klitschko as of recent. His Klitschko ended up being Tyson Fury. Though Tyson Fury's history is not emulated as a Klitschko, times change, man. You know what I'm saying? Fighters, in some cases, are doing less, but have more recognition. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Fury just so happened to be able to be the recipient of all the titles in separate. Yes, it's a bit confusing to some people that Tyson Fury was able to do what he was able to do to Deontay Wilder this past Saturday. But both of these guys showed a certain type of fortitude, you know what I'm saying, tenaciousness. As much as I don't like Tyson Fury, he did go in there and show us that he can get off the canvas too. Deontay Wilder showed us he can get off the canvas. Both of these fighters can get knocked down and fight through adversity and still try to go out there and win the fight. Let me get to some of these comments, man. Cue the God on deck. Salute to you. WCS, what's good, family? Salute to you, man. Appreciate you pulling up. King Mitch on deck. Come back. What up? What up with you, Mitch? What's good? Rob TV on deck. What's up, fam? What's up with you, bro? Appreciate you. Retro Rob TV. Much love and appreciation, my brother, for the donation. He says, salute. Thank you for your support. Much appreciated. Salute to everyone that's in the live chat always. Mitch say Pac-Man versus Uga sold about 250K. PPV buys. Word is Wilder Fury did slightly under 600K. You're looking at PP. Look, you're looking at the boxing boards, I think, if I'm correct. You know what I'm saying? He got that from Maioli. But I got you. Appreciate the info dropping in the live chat because, you know, It's educational. It's boxing education. Appreciate that, Mitch. Um, what would Canelo versus Plant do? I don't see Canelo versus Plant exceeding 600K. I don't see it. I don't see it because, believe it or not, look, you talking about tandem, you talking about a duo. Canelo versus Plant does not reach the notoriety of a Wilder Fury. The names aren't as big as two individuals just stepping into the ring as a Wilder Fury. It's just not going to exceed that, in my opinion. I don't think so. Flex Lewis on deck. Let's go, champ. Talk that talk, saying him from NYC. Appreciate you. Shout out to NYC in the building. Sir Ken on deck. World Combat Sports salute. Salute to the wrenches and salute to the chat. Smash the like button always. Sir Ken is on deck. Appreciate you supporting the channel, my brother. As we we just reflect on this, right? Both of these guys went there and gave it a hell of a fight. You know what I'm saying? A hell of a fight. As media, sometimes we do get involved in who we favor more than the other. And in this case, I still support Deontay Wilder in a different way. People always ask me, why you support him like that? He can't do this, he can't do that. But see, the fighters I support, I expect them to go in there and give it their all. I don't never have no canned goods as fighters I support heavy. I don't have a lot of fighters on my list that I support heavy in this boxing game. You know what I'm saying? But the ones I do, I know that they're going to go in there and give it, do or die. And when it came down to Wilder, I always felt he had that warrior spirit. You know what I'm saying? I always felt like he was blessed in a different way to have the tall stature, slender stature, the way he is, cut, chisel. He's outside the composition that the older boxing fans aren't used to. They're not used to seeing a fighter like that outside the Larry Holmes, the Tysons, the Ruddicks, the Brunos. You know what I'm saying? Even McCall's, man, George Foreman's, Ali. It's just so many body competitions that just didn't add up to the way Wilder looked. He was a different type of fighter. But one thing about that, he may not he may not have had the body composition as people are used to seeing with these heavyweights. But somehow, some way, God blessed him with crazy power, man. God blessed him with unique strength and ability to go in here and knock people out. And that in boxing is a plus all the way around the board. When the fight ended this past weekend, right? We all understand that Wilder was stopped. That pretty much nipped everything in the bud to say that, Tyson Fury is the better fighter out of the two. All right. When you stop somebody like that, unless, it's been Andrew Galata and Riddick Bowe type of moment where it was several low blows. You know what I'm saying? And it was a lot of other distractions that could have debilitated the fighter during the bout. That wasn't the case here. That wasn't the case. Both fighters rose from the canvas. Even though it was a long count, I'm very, very elated that Andre Ward and plenty others acknowledged that once again it was a long count for Wilder. You know what I'm saying? It's a long count that didn't benefit Wilder. And we all, I've heard so many people say, hey, I want to talk about the long count, but I ain't making excuses. Listen, I'm not going to say I'm not making that. I'm not going to say it. I'm just stating a fact. I'm just stating a fact. If it's there for us to view as public record, that when we live off, look, our everyday lives is off a time simulated daily schedule. So why won't we view this in the same manner? You have to look at the time. We live on a time simulated schedule every day we get up. Light and day is off a time piece, a clock. Your circadian rhythm operates off that. Why wouldn't we acknowledge that in boxing, they also have a format? In this particular case, there was a knockdown, and it seemed to me, and it was acknowledged, that Tyson Fury didn't make it up within the 10 count. Now, that's the same thing we can say about Jack Reese. You know what I'm saying? In the first fight. Unfortunately for Wilder, in this past Saturday, he was knocked out cold for a minute. He was knocked out. So people are going to just overlook it, and they're just going to pretty much say, you know, Tyson Fury, he won. He did. He won. Tyson Fury won. When you knock somebody out, they won. It's just like if Deontay, Wilder would have received that type of long count treatment from Mora, and then he went on to knock out Fury. Now, there's going to be the same amount of people talking about, okay, Wilder, he didn't beat the count, but he knocked Fury out. Will Wilder get credit? Yeah, he's going to get credit. But people were so eager. I think it was more people in the majority was eager to see Tyson Fury defend his belt. Now that they've received what they wanted, it's almost like it's nothing left for Tyson Fury that excites the fans. Come on, man. I'm spitting some facts. The flame is goddamn flickering right now. Tyson Fury beat the man. He beat the man twice. The rest of the boxing landscape is bewildered and confused right now. Now it's just like, oh shit, let me put these 3 dice in my hand. And one of them has AJ on it. One of them has Dillian White. And one of them has Alexander Usyk. Let me just shake it up in my hand and see who I want to see Tyson Fury fight next. People confused to see if they want to pay for a Fury versus Usyk because he has the belts, or Usyk going in there with Joshua for a rematch and losing the titles, and let's see Joshua go in there and fight the number 1 heavyweight right now. Because what Tyson Fury was able to do was defeat Deontay Wilder twice. Though it was embroiled in controversy and scandal for all of his value, he still have that on his record as being undefeated. And the only 2 losses on Deontay Wilder's record is from Tyson Fury. A lot of us will look at this and they would say, is it everything we hope for in a trilogy? Did we get everything? And it was an epic match, man. I would say it was a damn good heavyweight. We were waiting for a boxing match of this magnitude to take place, man, and it did. It gave us the electricity, man. It gave us all the energy of the suspense and intrigue, man. It gave us the climax that we was looking for with 2 top-tier elite heavyweights in the square to settle the score, man. That shit was on point. Sir can say Wilder will always be one of my top 5 heavyweights. Yeah, absolutely, man. I agree. I try to explain this all the time. Let me take banner down. Let me take this banner down. So this is what I always try to put out there. Sir Ken, about Wilder. People have to look at what he was able to accomplish, not so much what you don't like about him. You know what I'm saying? Not every weight. You look at the heavyweights, man. There have been so many heavyweights that have contended in the ring, and all their styles are different. You know what I'm saying? Heavyweight is the heaviest division, and you may have individuals in there with a weight gap dropping, 40 pounds, 50 pounds to their opponent. That's the heavyweight division. But if you climb down in the lower weight classes, they feel like that's insane. That's insane to think that you're contending against someone that outweighs you by that much weight. But that is the heavyweight division. These guys aren't there to move around and run around the ring like we saw Frank Sanchez do against F.A. Jogba. You know what I'm saying? Not all these heavyweights have the footwork of a Luis Ortiz. Most heavyweights are flat-footed. They give you that bang out moment, that phone booth type of damn close quarters warfare. That's what we look for these heavyweights. I'm not saying it don't happen in the lighter weight classes, but in heavyweights, they're too big. They're not moving around. They're not as mobile. They ain't running around the ring like Sanchez was doing this past weekend. It just don't happen. So people can say, Wilder don't have no balance and he was flat-footed. Well, Fury had better footwork, but he was still a flat-footed fighter, but he had better footwork to combine with his speed. The way Fury, has his rhythm. He has a fluency about him. He had his own rhythm to work with that. And he just didn't develop that when he fought Deontay Wilder. He used it to beat Klitschko for the titles, man. He did. He used that same shit. Like if you watch the fight, Klitschko came on. I mean, not Klitschko. Fury came on a bit more in the later rounds against Klitschko. Fury came on in the later rounds against Deontay Wilder in this past fight. He has the body composition of a walrus, but he's able to use his hands, and have the speed to move that body around, to move that weight around. He comes in, he's already sitting at 280. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's outweighing Deontay Wilder tremendously, but he's able to remain mobile, swift, somewhat nimble on his feet enough to the point where his hands complements his footwork. He knows how to use his entire structure, his physical anatomy in the ring. Miss say, I've said it before, these chumps will blame these low PPV numbers on fixed PBC, on fixed. PBC and Caleb Plant, we're about to find out is not find out Canelo is not a superstar, king of boxing. They claim he is. Well, everything that deals with Canelo Alvarez is exacerbated there, Mitch. You know that. And all these the boxing segways is out here. I'm pretty sure they'll be tuned in. They'll be trying to get everybody that they know to tune in, support him. But they be crack streaming it. They're gonna be crack streaming it like everybody else, man. Come on, man. We live in a different era. People talk about supporting their fighter, but they'll go up there and crack stream it because they talk about it's a pandemic. I'm low on funds. No excuses. Caleb Plant is the best opponent he's faced since moving to 168, and it's for the historic undisputed championship. We should see. Absolutely, we should see. I'm going for Sweet Hands, period. Hands down. I'm going for Caleb Plant. I'm going for Sweet Hands to go in here and hand Canelo Alvarez his second loss, period. He's going to have to be perfect. Pretty much his footwork is going to have to be on par. And, Caleb Plant is not that guy to move around and run on the outside like we've seen Sanchez do. But he's going to have to be smart enough against Canelo Alvarez to outsmart him. His boxing IQ is going to have to elevate on the job. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can come in there with all the thoughts. Your mind can be working in overdrive, and you can come in there with all these scenarios, but everybody has a plan until the fight start. And once the fight start, then what? You start to make adjustments. And that's what we need to see against Caleb Plant. We need to see if he's the superstar that people betray him as being, that we know he can be. And that's who I'm going with. I hope he goes in there and he puts on a show. But back to Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, man. You can't tell me people out here, they're not sure of who they want to see Fury face next. Like, Deontay Wilder was the biggest name with all the variables to go with the true backstory, you know what I'm saying, and everything to go along with a heavyweight. That's what we had. We had everything. We don't have any history leading into the next fight. All we know is Alexander Usyk was a former cruiserweight unified undisputed champion, and we know who he beat. And then he came up and he really haven't fought that top tier competition to take the belts. But as I said all the time, Joshua was overrated. And once again, he was exposed for who he is. But who has Alexander Usyk fought besides Chisora and Witherspoon, man? He didn't come to the heavyweight division. He doesn't. If y'all look, here we go again. We're talking about who people have fought to get a championship, right? And we hear people talking about Crawford all the time. But let's look at Usyk. Usyk doesn't have no superior resume to anything until he fought Anthony Joshua. Now people are pondering, they're juggling their decision-making process. They say, oh, well, it's so hard. Who do I want to see? Do I want Usyk to go in there and defeat Joshua in a rematch? Do I want Joshua to step up to the plate and take the belts back and see a Fury versus Joshua? People don't know. And to be honest with you, I truly believe they don't care. Because ultimately, both of these guys have the ability to be beaten. Right now, people are looking at Tyson Fury as the best heavyweight in the sport right now, in the division. And from his performance against Deontay Wilder, they believe that Anthony Joshua nor Alexander Usyk can provide him that competitive fight to dethrone him. So people really don't know who to choose. Like, who do we choose, man? He said, no excuses, Caleb Plant's the best opponent to face. I read that already. Mitch up here. Wilder is still a top 3 heavyweight easy. I'll put Usyk 2 out of respect to the titles he snatched from AJ. Soft ass. I still think Wilder beats Usyk, though. That would be a good fight, stylistically, for Wilder to go in there against somebody like Usyk. But he has to work on his conditioning, first and foremost, if we even going to have it in the conversation. Being a person who deal with nutrition and fitness and stuff like that, right? Who's competed on the big stage. You can pick up weight and you can do it the right way aesthetically. People can look at you and say, oh man, he's picked up muscle. Like, he looks really good. She looks really good. They look the way they're supposed to. But if you're in a sport where you have to move around aerobically, you have to condition your body to be able to handle that. And while the most lethal performances came at lighter weights, his most intrusive performances in the heavyweight division came at lighter weights. Not at 230s. It came at lighter weights because I believe his physical structure, he's better at lighter weights. The only thing that he needs to improve on how to maneuver with bigger opponents, how to clinch. He needs to work on his clinch game. He needs to work on how to position fighters, just like we seen in Errol Spence, Sean Porter. Sean Porter was able to turn out Errol Spence whenever he felt like it. When they fought, whenever he felt like it, he turned them out. That looks simple the way Sean Porter was doing it. But when you take Wilder against a 270 plus guy, that's what he should have been working on. How to turn his opponents and put his back up against the ropes and then, take advantage with some punches to the body or to the head or whatever the case may be. Learn how to create space without being too far away. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to create space enough till you can still generate your velocity and power on your punches, but don't smother them. But good point there, Mitch. Appreciate you. Good boxing input. Appreciate you, bro. D Hodges, OG, what's good, man? He said, what up, World Combat Sports and Chat? Salute, OG. Salute to you. D Hodges on deck. What it do, man? Sanchez knew that he had to stay away from that power until he knew he was getting tired. Yes, sir. He's smart. I think he fought a smart fight, though, there, Ken. Real talk. People frown upon certain fighters who would do that, but you just said it. He knew Ajagba had power if he stayed in place. So what Sanchez was able to do was assess. They had a plan. They already knew FA had power. So once he was in there and he pretty much got a good feeling for FA's movement, that's why he was moving. He wasn't even moving like away from FA's power. Sometimes he was moving towards FA power. And then, he started to find himself up against the ropes. He started, his pulse started to change a little bit, his rhythm. He's like, damn, let me slow this down a little bit. And every time he wanted to take a pause, FA was right there. But the one thing about Ajagba, he's too predictable. The Boxing King Archives on deck. How you feel, man? He said, at World Combat Sports, the fight was great seeing my Bronze Bomber brother almost overcome adversity. But I would never give Fury, the cheating peasant, credit for this trilogy. See there, Boxing King Archives, that's why people are so upset with World Combat Sports, They say, you're not giving Fury credit. I say, so will you give me credit? If I go out here, and I always use this analogy, me being a prior service member, active service member, but a full lifetime vet, right? So if I went out here and did some stupid shit in the street, would you give me credit for being a vet? And say, he's a combat vet. There's certain things he dealt with. Would you give me a pass? No. So when Fury want to sit up here and become a cokehead, right? And then come back with mental illness, people say you're not giving him credit for this weekend. I'm giving you credit. But the real, true, hardcore, dedicated astutes, the ones that actually read and build their boxing library, they will tell you that Fury, on 2 occasions against Wilder, had controversy with the count. One was with Moore and one was with Reese. That's facts, man. Underscore. You know how many people I see put facts into their narrative? Put this fact in there. That's fact. Not only that, he's been accused of cheating and been identified as a cheater. But to keep on topic, I will say this, that he won this past weekend. He won. Period. I definitely give credit to Warrior. I mean, the Warrior that I think he said the tribe, the Ebo tribe over in Africa. Wilder had mentioned that if he's going to sit up here and fire Mark Breland, he's going to stick to his words. He's going to be a man of his word. So, if my word and order was to let me go out on my shield, don't throw on the towel, that's what I want. And he went out on his shield against Tyson Fury. So I'm seeing all these people, right? I'm seeing all these people, some that I didn't think would accredit and give him, glory. They say, damn, he was a warrior in there. He fought his ass off, even though he was tired and he was running low on oxygen and endurance. He still was fighting. Boom. Went out in the shield, was stopped. And then you have some people just saying, oh, he was knocked out. But, we can't look at all these other fighters that we used to seeing get dropped all the time, and we praise them for going to life and death. and fighting that type of fight, but we're not going to do the same for Deontay Wilder. Hell no. We got to give him that credit. We got to say, damn, he showed that warrior spirit. He showed that he has something deeper than coming in there just ripped and having a six pack. No, he got heart, bro. Deontay Wilder has heart. He has heart. I'm not saying Tyson Fury doesn't. I'm saying Wilder demonstrated heart. Oh, I'm back. D Hodges, can't say for me personally, true lunatic. If he wasn't boxing, he would truly be wearing a straitjacket. You have to be different, right, Ken? You have to be different in this sport, right? You have to be different. And he's a different type of dude. He's a different type of dude. You know, Tyson Fury is a different type of dude. You know, these combat sports, man, these guys are getting punched and hit. You have to be different. You have to be crazy. That's why you see some of these fighters coming down with domestic violence and other activity dealing with assault, because they're combat practitioners. They're pugilists. They fight for a living. So you have to have some type of crazy in you to even compete in a sport at this level. King Archive say Fury's first knockdown of the trilogy was illegal when he hit Wilder in the back of the head. Then he shows up in the second fight and knocks Wilder down by choking Wilder out and uppercutting him. See, when it comes to all the tactics that was used in the ring, it's up to the referee to be vigilant, man. They changed the referee and the judge out for this last fight the last minute, and we was just waiting and waiting. And I'm gonna call it for what I know is it's a type of how you put it, type of disguise referees are now known to have. Check out this disguise. Boxing, in certain fights, the third man in the ring can be the determining factor, which we have seen so many times in boxing history. The third man in the ring can be the determining factor. We've seen it so many times when Joshua was getting his belts. You know what I'm saying? The third man in the ring, the referee, pretty much dictated the pace, right? And, you know, was able to give some questionable calls and their involvement in the match and everything else. But the disguise has been evident, and people don't pay attention to the disguise until the moment stays still long enough for people to really see it play out. And what happened with Tyson Fury is that people was able to see it play out again. They was able to see it play out again. When he touched the canvas, this is the disguise. You have these referees that will take so much time to tell a fighter, go to the neutral corner. The next disguise is, and there's no rabbit in the hat. This is playing out right in front of you. The next disguise is they pick up the count. They're supposed to pick up the count from the timekeeper on ringside. If the count is 4, right? If the count is 4, you're supposed to pick up the count. But if you're looking at your watch and you're getting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look at, you can look at that all day long. But when a human is demanded to have the same rhythm as that timepiece, you're not going to get it. A human that is influenced by what's in front of him and what he sees, just like Moore was, he wanted to provide enough time for Fury to recover, just like Jack Reese. And we all know that Deontay Wilder didn't want Jack Reese back in the ring to referee his fight. We all know that. You think they didn't feel no type of way? Hell yeah, they felt some type of way. But let's go back to the count. If you want a human to basically emulate a timepiece count of seconds, it is up to them to do it honestly or do it with some type of deceptive measures. And the way Mora did it, 4, 5, 6. In reality, the referee isn't breaking the format or breaking the regulations by the commission. That is one of those fine lines, those gray areas that bleed over all the time in boxing. You have a referee that want to count slow. They're still counting, but it's almost like 2-second intervals. 4, 1,005. And what it does is allow that fighter more time to recover. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to pick that out. It doesn't take a psychologist to say, you know what, that's what it is. After doing all this research, that's what it is. They're basically delaying the count, even though they're counting in recession, which is considered a second apart. The time in between is really 2 to 3 seconds. So therefore, once you reach the number 10, it's really a 15, 17, a 20, because he has taken more time with his own pace that is much slower than the mechanical. The mechanical part of it is being displayed on the television. That is the functionality, the mechanics of the timepiece. Those seconds are going in recession with no influence from humanistic type measures, right? Humanistic behavior. Behavior, they can delay that shit. They can take their time. They can procrastinate and make it seem like they still sticking to the count. It's very important to understand the disguise, man. They're playing a game. And they can get away with it because everybody's all up in the uproar. Tyson Fury's down. People are frenetic on their feet. There's sidebar conversations, and the referee is playing the role. That is one of the most disguised rule breakers in boxing, the count. It happened with Buster Douglas, and it happened with a plethora of other fighters. It's a long fucking count that is disguised by the referee. When you put that responsibility in their hands to count and emulate that of a mechanical functioning timepiece, it will never add up unless that referee is doing what they're supposed to. But in this case with Tyson Fury, it was a long fucking count. The referee knew it was a long count. When he picked up the count from the damn timekeeper, let's just say it was 4, 5, whatever. He should have picked that shit up and counted just as fast as he knows at his age and his experience in the ring. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not pausing in between and giving 2.5 second delays. See, it's a fool's game to look at somebody's motion. A referee can and make it seem so dramatic to the crowd. 5. But really what they're doing is just delaying the fucking count. Bullshit, bro. That's the biggest disguise in sports, in combat sports, period, when it comes down to it. It is, especially in boxing. It's the biggest portrayal of deceit that referees can get away with, all from their body, from their motion, their behaviorisms. You know what I'm saying? The charade that they put up with moving their arms. 1, 2, kissing me. Count, count, count. 3. This motherfucker's on 3, but yet the clock is ticking on, and it's on 7. Shout out to Andre Ward for basically acknowledging that, not playing the corporate censorship and being reserved with what he's actually seen. Shout out to Andre Ward. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you for acknowledging that. Big dog on deck. Salute WCS. Appreciate you, big dog. Appreciate you pulling up. Can't say smash the like button. I appreciate it, man. Y'all smash the like button. Y'all should know by now, man. You know, do what you got to do, man. You rock with the channel. So smash the like button, man. You know, the Cash App is in there if you choose to donate. If not, then so be it. It's, you know, it is what it is. Miss AJ is a much better champ than Jeff Horn, though. How you figure, dog? They neck and neck, dog. Come on, man. Listen. I can guess you saying it in reference to Alexander Usyk, who, you know, was able to defeat Anthony Joshua, who we already know was a marginal heavyweight. He's a marginal heavyweight. He's just at the line where people look at him for who he is. He's under the umbrella, the promotional umbrella, the promoter Eddie Hearns, who everybody knows. So thank goodness he's with Eddie Hearns, who was able to basically chaperone him through his boxing career. Salute. Shout out to Eddie Hearns for that. But we know damn well that he's been exposed even when he sought out Vladimir Klitschko after a damn near 2-year hiatus. He was pretty much dancing to a different beat from a retired fighter. So to put him better than Jeff Horn, listen, man, come on, bro. Come on, man. And in no way, shape, or form am I defending Jeff Horn either. But I will defend him in a way that he defeated an all-time legend. And then Bud Crawford should get absolutely 185% credit for stopping in his first fight at welterweight. Shout out to Team Crawford, the best welterweight in the game. King Archive say, WCS, do you think they should add a computer that does the knockdown 10 count? I heard they have a computer system that keeps the punch count. Is this true? Should they translate this computer to punches? Okay. To answer your question, they have a CompuBox, count that they basically display after the fight. Sometimes when it's ongoing, we'll get the punch output, we get the punches thrown and the punches landed. They'll give you the itemized jabs, body shots, and the punches landed, right? It's absolutely there. Once it's all over with, they can give you all the itemized numbers that you would want from that boxing performance from both fighters. Absolutely. Now, we can do the exact same thing for a knockdown. All it takes is for them to be willing to make that transition, which takes away that one responsibility that keeps boxing relevant to fix. Yes, I said it. The referee is that third person in the ring that is extremely relevant to fixing the fight. I'm serious. If they take that away, which is a damn good question, it's a damn good question there, Archives. You know what I'm saying? If they took that away and just went off the clock, which A lot of this media is floating around. They had this guy break it down at the 17-second mark and so forth, which is outstanding, assessment and observation. But even with him breaking down that video, and we clearly seeing the ref was off count, if we would have taken that away, it would just have to be approved by the commission to be able to allow the commission and the referee to go off the count, off the clock, that has no influence by humans. You know what I'm saying? No one can touch it. It's just a clock. Boom. Look, check me out. I'm not saying no one touches it. When the time stops, the time is stopped. Okay, it can. But I'm just saying, when the time is ticking away, when the fighter's on the ground, they can very well say, hey, he did not make it up in the 10 count. Therefore, he is ruled out, over, knocked out. The fight is over. He did not make the count. He is ruled his opposition is ruled the winner, and he is the loser. Point blank and concise, straight to the point. They can do that, but they're not going to do it because it takes away a huge influence that the referee has in swaying the fight. Long as the referee has that ability to count a fighter out, they can always maneuver and manipulate the outcome. They can. They absolutely can, man. They can. They can absolutely manipulate that. And we all know that's happened on several occasions in big fights. Why just big fights? Because it's a lot of money on the line. It's a lot of people that's putting money on the line that we don't know. It's a lot of behind the scenes. It's a lot of people placing bets on a certain fighter. You know what I'm saying? Boxing is always it. Captain Corruption always get paid. The punch count during Wilder versus Fury was bogus as F. Yeah, I agree, man. But if you take that away, like Archive said, right? Which once again was a grand question, man. Damn good question. If you take it away from the referee, it really places the shakers and movers and the powers that be in a whole nother light. Like when a fighter goes down and we're going strictly off the damn timepiece, the promotional timepiece, the actual time clock, it'll be more fighters losing. The referee, just look, check this out. Let me tell you how grand of a question that is that Boxing King Archive just mentioned. Because you're trying to tell me that when a fighter goes down and when a fighter goes down and the referee is telling them to go to the neutral corner, you're trying to tell me the referee has the obligation to check the timekeeper and pick up the count, but yet the referee observed the fighter being down and look over there and they tell him, oh, it's 10 seconds. He's out. Call the fight. You trying to tell me the two cannot work as one? If he looks over there and picks up the time when a fighter goes down, he can very well look over there while he was observing this fighter on a knockout. That's all you have to do now. You're not determining the fight when a fighter is knocked out no more. Archives just eliminate that. Now we have proven that the referee, they can look over there to the timekeeper and they can verify if 10 seconds has expired. If he looks over there and they say the count, boom, they look over there and say, oh, 10 count has expired. He's out. He's not up. The fight is over. Then the referee then waves off the fight. That will absolutely change the sport of boxing. But it's not going to, because they want to keep that power invested in the referee, because that's where the referee can basically fix as many fights as they possibly can. Real talk. Just think about what I just said. If a referee can look over there and pick up the time, why can't we just say, fuck it? If the timekeeper is picking up the time, don't have the referee look over there. Have him pay attention to the fighter. If the fighter gets up, he looks over there, and the timekeeper say, no, they did not make the count. They did not make the count. The fight is over. The referee now waves off the fight. What is there to discuss? Maybe Jeff Horn and Andy Ruiz are neck and neck. I got to give AJ the nod on that one. WCS computer system that I'm speaking of is in the Olympics. Yes, I understand how the Olympics work, but you have to understand the Olympics has been through various systems, and they still screw over fighters. They still screw over fighters, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to understand there may be people behind the scenes betting in the Olympics, but not as much as professional. Professional ranks, there's a lot of money on the line from different individuals. The under the table handshakes, the grip and grin photos, the shakers and movers behind the scenes, the conversations behind closed doors. Hey, there's more money to be made on the professional level. So just like I caveat to what Archive said, it's a grand point to be made. If the referee, and I'm saying this, the referee can look over there and pick up the time. Why can't he look over there once the fighter make it back to his feet and get a confirmation? Timekeeper say he made the count or they didn't make the count. Boom, the fight continues if he made the count. The referee's primary focus is the fighter, right? So if the fighter's on the ground and the referee is telling the other fighter, he's pretty much distracted. He's telling the fighter, go to the neutral corner. He's distracted by the fighter that's on the canvas. And then he looks at the timekeeper and picks up the count. He doesn't have to do it. If he looks back at the fighter, check and see their condition, look at the timekeeper, and the timekeeper can say, okay, whether you want to pick up the count, or they can wave off the fight and say 10 seconds has expired already. There's two ways you can handle it. You can give them the count, or you can say it's over, it's done. And appreciate the haters that's in the building. It's always good to see you pulling up. You know what I'm saying? You get no love. You get no love. And the wrenches, do what you got to do, man. It's all good, man. Like, let me do this guy a favor. Let me help you out. I won't even block you. I'm just gonna freaking time you out for fun. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna time you out for fun. But this is a big deal when it comes down to who does Tyson Fury fight next, and do the fight fans really want to see that shit? I know they're looking forward to him, and they truly believe that Tyson Fury can pick up the belts. I get it. They believe he can become undisputed. I believe he can become undisputed. I do. I truly believe Tyson Fury, between Anthony Joshua and himself, he can win that fight. Alexander Usyk, a part of me says that he may put up a better fight than Joshua, because in my opinion, Usyk is a better boxer than Joshua. A part of me says that Usyk can face his demise too. I believe that Tyson Fury, if he performs, like if he put his weight on him, he does the same thing he's used to doing, I believe he can stop Usyk. I believe he can stop Usyk for real. There's a lot of people that jumped on the Usyk bandwagon and want to say he's the best out here. And now that Tyson Fury goes in here and defeat Deontay Wilder in that manner, now they jumping back on Tyson Fury bandwagon and say, Tyson Fury, I don't know. He probably can win it all. He can win it all. He can win all the marbles. He can do it. After that performance, he was getting strong as the fight went along. When we saw Usyk, go in there against Joshua, it was periods that, I mean, come on, man. It'll be a good fight, Shotty, for real. It'll be a damn good fight. It'll be a good fight, man. But let's talk about this video right here. Y'all tell me what you think. Tell me what you think on this video right here, okay? Just want to get your feedback on this video.
Never mind, Wolf. There's respect. You got me fair and square tonight. That's it. I respect because I'm a man. Don't show sport. Don't show my sport. You're not fair and square. Listen, I've never cheated in my life. I play fair and square. He's got a bad hatred towards me. I don't know why. But let me tell you, he lost like a man tonight. He put me down 3 times to put him down 4. Great heavyweight fight.
What do y'all think about that vid? He said he never cheated in his life. As fight fans and people in everyday living, right? We so wrapped up in tradition. But tradition only replicates to certain people. It's only enforced to certain people. Like you hear somebody, 2 fighters going at it, and then when the fight is over with, people are like, they shouldn't shake hands. They shouldn't do this. Fuck that. You heard what he said. You heard what she said before the fight. That shouldn't have been the way it is. But in this particular scenario with Wilder saying no love, it came down to a point where Fury was proven to be a cheater. And it was just so much wrapped into the rematch. It was out there, and so many videos, so many hours of editing and basically describing what the video was about and why the Fury gloves looked the way they did and everything else that was basically a consulate of their rematch, right? For him to walk over to Wilder after it's all over with, he received that already. You know what I'm saying? Didn't Wilder pretty much show sportsmanship when he was defeated in the rematch? The fight was stopped. And then he showed the love. Now, in that time, he had took extensive amount of punishment, right? Brutal fight. He went home, had time to recover, then turned around and was able to assess everything. He was able to digest and say, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. And then he started cataloging everything that encompasses that rematch. So this time around, after knowing what he knew in the rematch, he didn't feel like he had to freaking get up and hug that man and show him love, because he felt like the man tried to damn bury him. What Malik Scott said, they tried to bury that man alive. What if he, what if there was with the evidence, what if it would have left him in a vegetated state? What if he never would be able to made it to this past weekend and make the amount of money he was able to make? What if he was done providing for his family forever? What if that was the case, people? Real talk. What if he was never able to provide for his family again? We're talking about a fighter who is classless by a lot of people. Just because he didn't say congratulations or thank you, but yet they will sit up here and praise other fighters who have done much worse in the ring. But just because he didn't show sportsmanship, you need to get off that bullshit. Because they pick and choose selectively who they want to enforce that shit. And they know damn well this is a judgmental country. For real. This is a motherfucking judgmental country, boy. You know that's the fact. Motherfuckers are judgmental as hell without even knowing who you are. They would sit up here and believe something they saw on social media, and it can be doctored, altered, It can be Photoshop, and people sit up here. Oh, my bad. I really thought they did it. You can look. You can. That's why you have so many people trying to do damage control, because with this social media shit, information can hit the surface, and it'd be absolutely false. But yes, so many people have reposted and reposted and reposted it, to the point where them individuals are trying to seek out that person's freaking address, seek out their social media account. And then when the shit isn't true, it's no apologies pending. You know, they're not even apologizing for the shit. I was listening to someone earlier, and they made a good point. They said Fury had problems with Otto Wallin because he fought dirty. What's your thoughts? Otto Wallin, man, he's not a bad fighter. You know what I'm saying? He's a fighter that can move also. You know, not to make this comparison, but look at the way he made Dominique Brazil look. And Dominique Brazil had Abel Sanchez in his corner there, Archive. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was doing the same shit that Rigondeaux was doing to Robisi. He was checking him with the right hook out the pocket, pivoting out, reset, and turning Dominique Brazil, making Dominique turn all the way to his left. Where did he go? Where did he go? Well, where did he go? He was using his footwork. Same thing he did with Fury. He had decent cardio. He had decent speed with his hands. He was able to have quality, effective movement, which when you have effective movement and you're able to put your punch combinations together, that's such a productive combination right there. Foot movement and punch volume. And Wallin, he wasn't scared. You know, he wasn't scared of Tyson Fury or nothing. He went in there and made it a fight the smart way. He really gave freaking Tyson Fury the business. And he was fighting dirty. Yeah, he tried to rub the laces of his gloves. He tried to rub his gloves in the cut of Tyson Fury. But see, can Otto Wallin, does he have enough to defeat Tyson Fury? No one knows, because he's still not a big name. See, the crazy part about boxing is that Otto Wallin can put things like that, Tyson Fury, and cats like yourself, King Archives will mention it, right? But yet it won't be enough for anybody to consider it outside the names of Alexander Usyk and AJ. People are not going to say, well, he should fight freaking Otto Wallin. No, they'll throw Dillian White in there before anything. They won't think of that performance because he's not a big name. He don't have any titles, any of that shit. So they're not going to really take in consideration, like you're speaking on. And when it comes to straight up boxing and how he was able to get, you know, some very solid pockets of the fight, he was able to take advantage of it. Hell yeah. Big Dog said, anytime somebody say they never cheated in their life, you know they're lying. Absolutely, man. Tyson Fury coming over there, you know, like I said before, man, I just want y'all to just pay attention to the video. Was Wilder right in his actions? Yes, he was right. Why people making such a big deal about it?
Never mind, Wolf. There's respect. You got to be fair and square tonight. That's it. I respect because I'm a man. Don't show sport. Don't show back sport. You're not fair and square. Listen, I've never cheated in my life. I play fair and square. He's got a bad hatred towards me. I don't know why. But let me tell you, he lost like a man tonight. He put me down 3 times to put him down 4. Great heavyweight fight.
He called himself sliding in a compliment, you know, to Wilder. And the true Wilder supporters already know he was a man about his. You know what I'm saying? We already know he had heart. That's why so many people paid attention to him, whether it was love or hate. They paid attention to him. You know what I'm saying? When he wasn't talking, they wanted him to talk. When he did talk, they wanted him to shut up. So which do you want? I mean, you're being very choosy. Yeah, he said no love, man, no love, no love. And you know, people just lose their damn wits. Oh, he's a sore loser. He's a sore loser. One thing that we know in life, there's a lot of people that didn't support Wilder, and now they're gonna this full week, they're gonna go through the gamut. They're coming down from it though. You know what I'm saying? That week went by fast, didn't it? We're heading to Friday, y'all. And these individuals that was so high off the Wilder hatred, you know what I'm saying, the buzz that they was getting, that shit is buzzing out right now. Like it's settling down, and they'll continue to talk about it, and then they'll start talking. It's more boxing out there to talk about this fight. But since they had so much disdain for Wilder, they'll continue to talk about it. Ah, he lost. He got knocked the fuck. This is what I've been hearing. He got knocked the fuck out. He got knocked the fuck out. That shit's gonna, you know how many fighters have lost via knockout? So either you want to see the warrior spirit, or you take this shit as a circus. You take it as a casual boxing fan. You got to look at it for the warrior spirit that's portrayed by both fighters. But you have to understand that when we look at the fight and Wilder was tired in like the first end of the first round, second round, and he still was up there swinging for the fences. He was able to earn some knockdowns. I mean, you have to salute it. But the haters, the casuals, you know what I'm saying? The cowards, they will overlook all that and just say, he got knocked the fuck out. He's where he should be. He's not even in the picture. He should retire. He's done, over. But I can always go back. You know, these motherfuckers won't let me on the panel. I can always go back and say, well, y'all saying that about Anthony Joshua? Anthony Joshua just he was made a fool of. Anthony Joshua didn't even want to go out on his shield again. He said, oh, fuck that. I'm going to stay on the outside. I'm going to play it safe. Alexander Usyk might have been nice enough to spare his life, shouty. He might have been nice enough to spare his life, man. Seriously. Dillian White was stopped in the 7th round by Anthony Joshua. He ended up being shut the fuck out by Alexander Povetkin after dropping him twice, right? But yet, immediately post-fight, he said he wants a rematch. Immediately. But now, you know, people say, oh, man, what's the rematch going to be with Dillian White? They give UK fighters a therapeutic pass, I swear to God. UK fighters get a therapeutic pass, bro. Somehow, some way, they look at these, just like they get a therapeutic exemption over there. Boxing fans give UK fighters a therapeutic pass just for their accent alone. We love their accent. I wish I was British. I wish I could talk like that. People are infatuated with basically waking up in the morning and practicing their British accent. Because Deontay, he was able to go through arbitration and earn it the dog way. The dog way. He was in court and then he came out and the fight was made. But cats like Dillian White can get slept, stretched out, snoozed. And people say, man, I just can't wait to see that Alexander Povetkin fight again. Joshua, same way, knocked out by May. He just quit. He quit. People comb over that motherfucker. They won't even mention it. Joshua quit against Ruiz. Deontay went out on his shield. He didn't quit. Joshua was a quitter. One thing I will provide with Dillian White would go in there and he said, I'm going to give it all I got. If I get chinned, I get chinned. But make no mistake about it, he is not a favorite heavyweight of mine. Yeah, he said, I don't respect you. Yeah. And Fury said, I don't know why he has all this hatred against me. Come on, Fury. I don't understand why he has all the hatred. Why should you have hatred against the Gypsy King? Why? I have the name off the man himself, Mike Tyson, a Hall of Famer, a legend of the sport. I mean, why not give me the same gratitude? I mean, come on, man. You know you're a cheater, Tyson. Come on. He fought like a man today. He dropped me 3 times and I dropped him 4. For real? For real? That's what we going off knockdowns. Because you should have been in that same conversation. Well, he knocked me down twice and the referee fucked up the count. I will admit that. In reality, in God's world, he's up 2-0. He should still, he should be the champion right now. You know what I'm saying? See, he should be 2-time heavyweight champion, because if we look at the rematch, we can just say the towel came in. Okay, you lost the title. Breland threw in the towel. But with this right here, we can actually say, okay, Deontay could possibly be 2-time heavyweight champion going on to fight Alexander Usyk or Anthony Joshua. If Deontay Wilder would have knocked out Tyson Fury Saturday, then people would be like, oh, shit. Do we want to see him face Usyk or Joshua? Oh, shit. He beat who we consider the best heavyweight out here. The conversation would be totally different, people. It would be absolutely different. People's like, oh, my God. I don't know who we want to face him next. Can Usyk get it done? We know Joshua can't. Can Usyk get it done? Hey, all of a sudden, Usyk and Joshua come down with COVID. Well, you know what strand they have? They have the Delta Phase 3 strand variant. This is definitely going to keep them out the sport for a year. All of a sudden, they got the Delta strand variant Phase 3-1, goddammit. This is the acute version of the virus. Told a man to his face, solid behavior, same energy was kept. Why fake it to appease a bunch of bitches? Ala Waleem literally tried to open the cut more with his glove at one point in the fight. Yeah. He was trying to rub his damn left glove up on. He did, really. He did. He rubbed his glove up there, man. He was fighting dirty. He wasn't taking no shit. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't taking no shit, bro. But I hope everybody pretty much are appeased now. I hope you're satisfied with Wilder basically congratulating Tyson Fury on the victory. I hope that calms you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like your heart rate was beating just a little bit faster than you would like it to. And now it's calmed down because Wilder has spoken and he congratulated Tyson Fury. And now you can look at it like, okay, we'll give him his redemption. You know what I'm saying? That's what we can do. We'll put him back in our good graces. But people, we have Shakur Stevenson and Jamel Herring. Shout out to both of those guys coming down here, man. Especially my comrade, Herring. They're coming down here this month. Shout out to them. I truly believe that it's going to be a damn good fight. Jamel Herring kind of impressed me, shocked me a little bit, the performance he put in there against Carl Frampton. For real, he shocked me. But I do believe that Shakur Stevenson is going to get the job done. and become a 2-division champion. And at one point, I think Shakur Stevenson is definitely going to make his way sooner or later up to the lightweight division. Yeah, man. Trainers are everything. Speaking of trainers are everything. I know a lot of people want to blame Malik Scott, but Malik Scott, he came on the scene and his task was a trilogy, a championship trilogy against the top 2 heavyweights in the game. He was training, he was in the corner of one, and the other was the champion. So therefore, he had to be A+ on that night. And you can't say that he didn't teach him anything, but you must look at the fact that did Deontay Wilder choose to enforce or implement what he was training? Because when a fighter feels a certain way, they go back to what them. And we know the right hand is comfortable to Deontay Wilder, like, lighting a stick of dynamite. He know he possesses it. So did he just abandon and abort mission and go back to what he did? Hey, we don't know. But what we can say, it was a damn good fight. It was go down in history. Now we have to look forward to, Shakur Stevens, Jamel Herring. Also, we have, and also I need to mention FA. I told y'all FA was a robotic, overhyped heavyweight. I told you that. I told you. FA was overhyped, man. And he need to stop worrying about attire and worry about, his career. Because, Wilder would do him the same way. Wilder would give him that same treatment he gave Dominique Brazil. FA needs to learn how to move his head and work on foot movement. Him sliding his way into position, then, the fighter moves away, resets. All you're doing is following that man around the ring. Anyway, Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter, I just can't wait to that fight, even though it's next month. I just can't wait for it. It's going to be a solid. I think it's going to be damn good. You know what I'm saying? I look for Terrence Crawford to basically give Sean Porter a performance that he's never seen before in his boxing career. I do believe he's going to pull that off, for real. I look for Bud Crawford to go in there and potentially, possibly stopping Sean Porter. It doesn't have to be a straight up blatant knockout. It can be a referee stoppage, or it can be from his dad. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe he could get hurt. But we're gonna see, because I know Sean Porter is gonna come in there and go straight to work. He's gonna try to prove a point. This is another big name for Sean Porter. We look at the Kell Brooks, we look at the Keith Thurmans, the Errol Spencers. This is another big name. Look at the Danny Garcias. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? You're gonna have another big name on your resume with an L on it, and it's gonna be a big name fight. So I don't see him defeating Bud Crawford. I don't see him defeating it. Period. That's just me. I don't know if y'all saw the new pound for pound list that they put out, the ring put out, but the hell if they didn't move a new A out and put Oleksandr Usyk number 2. The pound for pound list, man, you can't take it serious, but it's good for banter, for boxing banter and conversation, man. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see how they just shift and move names around for no damn reason. And how the fuck is freaking, Gennady Golovkin even a conversational piece on the pound for pound list? Get him the fuck out of there, dog. Why is that dude hanging around, man? They want to keep him relevant on the pound for pound in case somehow, some way, Canelo and him have an exhibition match 6 to 8 years from now. Come on, man. Don't nobody want to see that shit. Herring versus Shakur should be a great fight. This is the test. We've been wanting to see Shakur Stevenson. Might be the favorite, but I wouldn't be surprised if Herring pulls it off. Okay, you got people looking at it that way. Herring's been showing up, man. Herring's been showing up and pulling off some damn good performances. Can't blame Malik for that shit. People always try to blame the trainer. Malik did what he had to do. I wasn't, it wasn't like it was a fight camp or whatever. But when you basically catapulted into a primary position in such an epic fight, such as this heavyweight, yeah, you either show up and you get the win or you get the loss. But ultimately, people are going to place the liability more so on the losing effort on both Deontay Wilder and Malik Scott. The same way they was doing when Deontay Wilder was undefeated, when Malik Scott wasn't the head trainer. They were saying, fire everybody on your team. So now coming full circle, they just look at it like, well, we didn't see anything Malik Scott taught him. So they're going to put that culpability on Malik. And also they're going to put it on Deontay. That's the way it's going to be, man. Same song and dance, man, like a broken string. They're going to keep that tune going. It's going to sound crazy. But he didn't implement a lot of stuff that we were seeing in the videos. We just didn't see it play out in the ring. But what we did see play out was heart. You know what I'm saying? Determination. Willpower. And it just didn't work out for Wilder. He was stopped. Nobody was all up in arms after Fury canned his boy tour Ben Davison, nursed his sloppy ass back to health, then got dumped. Davison didn't believe in Fury's power. He wanted him to outbox. Like I said before, they pick and choose selectively who to put that stamp on, who to staple down with judgment. Who is it going to be? Ben Davison's over there across the pond. A lot of people don't even know who he is if they've seen him. I happened to see him in Studio B in Vegas that time, and there wasn't even that many people over there for an interview because he just blends into the crowd. They didn't even know it was him. They didn't even know it was Ben Davison. Just like what's his name? Ortiz trainer. They didn't even know who he was. It was like, okay, who is that guy? They don't know. They say, why are they talking to that dude? Who is that? You know what I'm saying? You have to just get familiarization with them and say, oh, that's so and so. That's Ben Davison. That's Tyson Fury's trainer. Okay, all right, we got it. But the crazy part about it too is that Sugar Hill showed up after being a compulsive liar. He was up there telling me I'm not even training him no more. I mean, those guys has been in the boxing game so long, they just don't give a fuck to tell somebody the truth that they don't trust. No love, no loyalty, goddammit. No love, no loyalty. They would tell somebody an absolute lie in a heartbeat. They don't fucking care, dog. Usyk belongs in the top 3 pound for pound, former undisputed and now unified heavyweight. I'm just saying, Mitch. Like, who did he beat? Who did he beat, man? Like, who did he beat besides Joshua? You know what I'm saying? Like, just think about that. I'm just trying to process it, right? I'm not saying you're totally wrong, but him being undisputed at cruiserweight, and then you got Crawford who's undisputed. Then if you ask somebody who did he beat of notoriety, with a respectable nomenclature credentials, right, at cruiserweight, and some of them can't even tell you. They can't even tell you who Usyk beat. But he comes up here, has 2 fights. One against Witherspoon. Does Witherspoon count? Does it count, dog? And then Chisora, who a lot of us thought he lost. And then he beats Joshua, who we already know is overrated. So that catapults him up to pound for pound. I mean, just because he beat a unified champion in Joshua. If we're going to say that if we're going to talk about how relevant their opposition, we have to keep it clear and honest across the board too. He beat Joshua, but we're talking about a fighter, Joshua, who lost his titles too. Terrence Crawford came up here, and Jeff Horn was the one that was in line. Boom, stopped him. Usyk went the distance with Joshua. Yes, he won, but he went the distance. People are gonna say, "Well, Jeff Horn, Joshua." Well, shit. When Usyk fought Joshua, he wasn't undefeated. You know, when fought Jeff Horn, he was undefeated, dog. Don't the O stands for something, Mitch? Hey, the O stands for something. The O stands for something, dog. How? Look, I would ask this question into eternity. If Deontay was reigning for over 5 years, why wasn't he ever given credit to even come close to being on the pound for pound list? Because they say, oh, his competition. But then if he ain't shit, how can Fury be rewarded tremendously with a high appraisal of defeating Deontay Wilder? And then he gets thrown in everybody's pound for pound list, and he's this big superstar because he beat a fighter that they say did not have the technical ability to even be in his position. He's a one-trick pony. He's only been getting away with it. How can you award Fury for beating a fighter who you criticize countless amount of times over and over again? How does that happen, bro? I understand a new voice can be productive in some cases, but if the coach is saying and doing the correct thing in the corner, it's on the fighter who really knows what is happening in the camp. Yeah, it's a lot of things that goes on in the camp. And look, one thing we know is some fighters who could have been on the grand scale of things with a fight like this, and they never would have posted videos. But then, you know, Wilder and Malik posting videos, they're training, they're doing new thing, but we never had a chance to see it outside of a consistent jab to the body and up top. We didn't really see it consistency with, you know, doubling up the hooks to the body, you know, showing us that elusive defense, working on your head movement and your defense. We never really was able to see Wilder put it all together and allow the, you know, what he learned, the curriculum to be played out and executed in the ring. We just wasn't able to see it. We wasn't able to see it play out, man. So you saying Chisora and Witherspoon ain't shit, but those was warm-ups. So Crawford comes up to the welterweight division. Jeff Horn is a champion. He's a champion, his first fight in the division. But you know, people are enamored with Usyk just like they was Lomachenko. They kind of give Usyk a bit more appraisal to his boxing Wall Street because he's a BFF with Vasily Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? That's why. You know, they love to see them two together. They're BFFs. You know what I'm saying? They've been waiting for this moment in the heavyweight division. And guess what, people? Especially the U.S. boxing fans. I want to see how you're going to look at this and assess the landscape of U.S. boxing champions in the next 5 years. Let's see what the talk is going to be about in the heavyweight division. Are y'all going to revert back around the cesspool and say, you know what? I really miss a U.S. champion. What Jared Anderson up to? What is he up to? Is he going to be the next one? You have to understand, though. You have to understand. Wilder reigned for over 5 years. Jared Anderson just cannot pick up a title. For him to be able to supersede the accomplishments of Deontay Wilder, he has to go ahead and pick up a title and defend it several times over. The reason why Tyson Fury is elevated to a hierarchy of superiority, he already won the unified titles back in the day from Klitschko, and now he won the other piece to the puzzle, and he was able to successfully defend it. That's why he's getting all the praise and the glory, because he closed out the championship fight the way it's supposed to be done. But for Usyk, once again, he has to close the show in this next fight. He has to shut Joshua down, and then we'll see what's next. That's all we can say on that, man. That's as much as I can give you, bro. They should have stopped the fight. They just didn't have the cojones to do it. They just didn't have the cojones to do it, because they know it would have been repercussions. Hey, you know what the order was? Anybody tell you to stop the fight? You go home and pack your bags, and we got you a ticket, the first ticket up out of here. You're no longer welcome here in the UK. You go over there to the US and try to find you some. You understand, you dosser? No one told you to throw in the towel and stop the fight. We have plans. We have money to make. You understand? You know what I mean? You're done here. You're done here. No one told you to throw in the towel. Man, they would have had a goddamn heartache if somebody would have stopped that fight. Joshua, that's our work mule. That's our money train. We're going to keep him around long enough for him to make us some money. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Don't be mad. We still got work to do. Joshua keep getting knocked out. He'll be good. And look at Dillian White. People still support him. You know what I'm saying? They still have so they will use the fuck out of these fighters. And we don't know how long Joshua on the contract. But we can understand, we can pretty much say this. I don't see Joshua coming over here to top rank of PBC. I see him stand put where he at his entire career until he retired. Joshua is not comfortable enough in jumping outside that baby crib over there in the UK. He needs to stay nice and cozy. You know, whenever he needs some milk, people, whoever, you know, they provide him a hot ball of milk, you know, calm him down, make him go to sleep. And then they say, hey, Joshua, guess what? You got a fight coming up. And then they put him in the ring. Try not to get knocked out again. We need for you to goddamn try to be a title contender. Like I said before, I think Joshua's going to go in there and regain his titles just so they can make some more money off him and consider him the 3-time heavyweight champ, because they want Joshua to be compared to the great Muhammad Ali. They want him to be 3-time heavyweight champion, unified champion, of course. They want him to be in the same narrative conversation. He said, look at Chisora. He had 2,378 defeats, and we all still love it when he fights. Yeah, man. And this is the same guy who has, you know, a cap that says war on it. And I'm not going to lie, man. I like Chisora, especially doing press conferences. Nobody is turned up and lit like Derek Chisora. Nobody. For that man to flip a table and almost hit people, he didn't give a fuck, man. For him to do what he did and violate David Haye, even though Haye responded. But how do you look, check this out. If a man kiss you in the mouth like he did David Haye, how do you come back around and train that fighter after getting into an all-out fist fight with him? You know what I'm saying? I mean, goddamn. But hey, it's different over there, dog. It's different. Chisora, he means what the fuck he say, man. He's a character, and he has some of the best press conferences, for real. Some of the best. He don't play around, dog. Man, that's all I got, bro. You know what I'm saying? If anybody find out when the Teofimo Kambosos fight, you know, gonna happen. I know now another date of November. Matchroom's supposed to put it on supposedly in November. We'll see if that plays out. I mean, that has turned into an abomination. Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos. Oh my God. We'll see what Eddie Hearns is able to do with it. Real talk. We'll see. We will see. But man, you know what it is, man. Y'all hold it down. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. Appreciate everybody for pulling up. I'm out.
Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6 sense for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame, cause I break the chains. Can't control me. I got the power, I got the keys, cause I break the chains. They try to hold me, I'ma push back, just wait and you'll see. Please excuse me, your honor, but you can't hold me no longer. Can't you feel the vibrations? I broke out and left traces. Go ahead, try catch me if you can, man. You'll be looking all night, I'm the Sandman. New York, London to Japan. I'ma show the whole